What's up, everyone? It's Ray. So I have another device review to go over today. This time it will be a device from UD, which I'm a big fan of, and this is the first device or first mechanical mod I've ever used from UD technology. It is the UDT-V12. Comes in this nice little fancy box that they're doing now instead of the traditional old UD boxes with the little like vapor stuff on it. So yeah, the UDT V12. Look at this. Oh, look how pretty that is. Comes out of here. It's got a whole bunch of like stuff on the back here telling you where they're from and to keep away from small pets and animals and children, all that good stuff. All right, opens up to this snazzy little box here, and let's see if we can read this. So there you go. You can see the UDT V12 mod material. It says it's stainless steel and copper. The size is 23.5 millimeters, and height is 106 millimeters. Where it counts, it's 22, so it sits flush with all of your different 22 millimeter devices. Current says from 5 to 7 amps. Battery voltage 3.7 to 6 volts. And it'll fit a 18350 or an 18650. No 18500s in here, no kicks or anything like that. Claims perfect performance, no voltage drop, and no spark when firing. Manual has been placed behind the gift box. I didn't get a manual with mine, but let's go ahead and take this out. You can see here, this is a nice little device here. Very clean looking. Has a, I guess what they're calling a rose gold. It's plated though. This is not rose gold all the way through. And you could see when you unscrew, and you could hear threads are quite buttery smooth. I was even unscrewing that. If you look inside there, as you can see, it is stainless steel on the inside there, and there is the firing pin. We'll go into that in up close mode. All right, so screw this back on. Has this little, I guess you would call it a beauty ring here, stainless steel beauty ring. And since they're saying this is rose gold, I'm not exactly sure. Is this the copper? Is it a rose gold? I don't know. It looks coppery to me, but either way, it is not a solid copper device. This is a plated device, okay? And then we have our button here. Let's go ahead and, well, first let's show you this. Here's your top. You can see your center post pin right there. And while this is a, it's a telescoping firing pin. And then this button here, you can actually push down a little bit so your devices will sit flush. You can see you have your little air chambers here, so if you're getting air at your 510 connection, you should be able to get that with your tanks. I'll show you here. Screw on the igo-w. Screw this on. And then we'll take this off because this will help us a little bit here. Normally unscrew this a little bit and screw on the igo-w until we are sitting nice and flush. We'll screw this back on until it's tight. That will give us our connection. And as you can see here, we have another screw here, and this screw, which as you can see is very sturdy. There's no wobble. And this is where you adjust for your battery rattle. All right. Make sure that's all good to go. Screw this back on. Go, no battery rattle. Take this off. Let's see here. And you screw clockwise to unlock and fire. So, and then of course counterclockwise locks it, it won't fire. All right. So let's go ahead and go into a short up close mode, and we'll take this thing apart and show you all of the insides. All right. Okay. Here we go in up close mode. First things first, let's go ahead and dismantle this thing. So take off the top cap here. Pull this pin out. Take all the pieces out and show you everything. This here is your 18650 ring, I guess, or piece. Battery out. And we have this little beauty ring here. To me personally, I would have liked to see this maybe be the same color. Stainless steel. I guess, you know, kind of breaks up the monotony of it. This is your 350 tube. Let's go ahead and take this off. If we can, this button is not the easiest thing to work with here. Let's try this. Wow. There it goes. I'd rather seen it reverse threaded in the other direction, but you know, it is, that's how they built the thing, so that's how we'll work with it. Okay, so there we go. We have your top cap, we have your firing pin here, or your positive 510 pin, your 350 tube, 650 tube, your beauty ring, and then your button. As you can see, the buttons look to be, I want to say silver plated brass. That's my guess, silver plated brass. I haven't seen anywhere else that's told me different. So in here you basically have your simple setup. You have your little insulator there with your firing button that makes connection. Show you how this works. So you push your button, you loosen up. Oh, I'll loosen up a little bit more. There we go. So you press this and it'll just barely take your pin and set it up above your insulator. So that's how you work your button. All right. So that's it. That's all it is. Just these parts right here. And again, like you can see on the inside, it is not all the way through. And from what I have read, see if I can find that again. Yes, it says the UDT-V12 is a full mechanical mod made out of high-quality stainless steel and copper. Guessing the copper must be the color. I don't know. It says this APV/mod can accept both 18350 and 18650 batteries and is fitted with the 510 threading for maximum compatibility. It says here we have, it is rose golden vacuum plated. So that is the coloring that's going on here with stainless steel and copper. So maybe the copper is what goes into the rose gold color, because the rose gold color pretty much looks like copper to me. So, but hey, that's what they're calling it. And they keep claiming this no spark when firing. We'll get into that when we go back into regular mode. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'll put the igo-w back on. We'll fire it. Go over the pros, go over the cons, and let you know how much it costs and all that good stuff. All right, so we're back into regular mode here. So let's go ahead and throw some juice on this bad boy using some new juice here. This is a Paper Street Vape Company Fairy's Blood. I'll be doing a review on this shortly. Just got this in today. Okay, so from what I can tell by using this, because I've been using this for the last week, is it does fire really well when it fires. We'll go over that. Let's go ahead and give this thing a vape, show you it in action. So it does put out a lot of vapor. So that does help. So there you go. That is the UDT-V12. So now let's go into the pros and the cons. Pros, it looks really nice. I like the design of it, almost that bamboo look. It works well when you're grabbing on because your fingers sort of slide right into those grooves. So it's not going to slide anywhere. The color, that rose gold color, for me personally, I like the way it looks. Having that little beauty ring, even though, you know, I say it'd probably be better to have it in the same color, it does work when you have a stainless steel RDA or RBA on top. So, you know, it kind of breaks up the look and the color and gives it a nice clean look. See what I mean? Fires, great. I don't notice much voltage drop at all, even with these low ohm coils that I normally build, like the 0.24 type coil. Now, let's get into the cons. First things first, I'm not a huge fan of this button. This button is a little wonky to me. It works. So, you know, now we got it locked, right? So you go counterclockwise and you lock it. It works fine. No movement, no wiggle, no rattle, no nothing. As you start to unlock it now, let's see. Let me just show you this. All right, so let's go. Oh, see, and it's not reverse threaded, so sometimes you unlock your whole assembly there. Let's see. One whole turn, won't fire. Two whole turns, won't fire. Three whole turns, won't fire. Four whole turns, won't fire. Five whole turns, now we're firing. So 5 whole turns to go from locking to unlocking. And then if you can hear it, it kind of shakes a little bit and wiggles. So that's one thing I really don't like about the button. The locking mechanism on it, not the biggest fan of it. Now, another problem that I had with the button, and I'm not sure I'd be able to get this on camera. Let's see if I can show you this real quick. No, it's not gonna show. And of course it's not gonna do it for me while I'm on camera. But I do get arcing. I get arcing from here to this lip. So when I'm pushing the button, I have to leave my hand off of this whole area, or I get little shocks, or it gets really hot around that little area. So the button assembly on this leaves a lot to be desired. There's some issues with it that they need to work out, and even though it does say in here that, you know, that there's no spark when firing. Well, you guys need to work on that a little bit more. But other than that those cons, the only thing I had an issue with is the locking button mechanism. You can work with it. It still works fine. I took mine apart. I unscrewed the bottom connection a little bit, so that way this throw was a little bit longer, or technically. So from here, let me show you, let me zoom in again. Basically what I did was made it so this area right here was a little bit wider of a gap. By doing this, because before I'd push the button and it would almost butt up with this area right here, this top ring of the button, and I was getting a lot of sparking right there. Now that I've separated it, it doesn't move that much. It shortened throw dramatically, and it's not arcing like it was before. It still does arc. So be ready for that. If you do pick up this device, you will have to fiddle with the button a little bit to get it working properly. Now, let's go over where you can pick this up and how much they're charging for it. So me personally, I received this from the Broke Smoker. That's brokesmoker.com. and he has it right now for $54.99. I did look around to see how that compares with other sites, and $54.99 seems to be about the norm for the lowest price. I haven't seen any other company that is selling it for less. So $54.99, reasonable price for a non-clone device. This is, a one-off device by UD, who makes the igo-w, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the igo-m, the AGA-T2s, the AGIs. They make all of these different devices, and they're messing around with some mods now. I know they made, I believe it was the UDT-V10. Now they have the UDT-V12, and I believe they're coming out with the UDT-V14. Don't quote me on that, but that's just what I've heard. So there you go. That is the review for the UDT V12 in the rose gold color. The little bamboo mod that feels good in the hand, but leaves a little bit in the button. Maybe if they rework the button a little bit, it'll be better. Oh, and before I forget, here's their new logo, I guess. So they're going with this scorpion logo on the bottom of the button, and it says UD, or Youde, whatever you want to call it, all the way around it. Pretty cool little logo. I like it. Looks pretty sweet with this, and you can see the polished rose gold on there. A fingerprint magnet, but not too bad. All right. So there you go. That's my review on the UDT V12. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, vape on.